And it has to be one in which this familiarity was fostered at some level, right? Maybe the level and the perception of that level differs for both persons. For Mr. Vaz, thinking he could have, made such advancement, or even for the lady to even think of it in that manner. But the truth is, neighbor, from my end, both persons have to be held accountable, because for one, as a wife, you are, for one, in alignment with your husband, and this is something you would have brought to the forefront, even from a security standpoint, neighbor, right? And I know people will say, oh, in a man's world, you have to take on some manly former traits. But this is not a battle that one can win taking on those traits. It is one in which a woman should have been within her femininity, because that would have been more powerful. And just easing the conversation to say, Mr. Vaz, I'm a married woman. I don't
respectfully, I am married, and I want to respect my husband. I don't wish to engage in this conversation.
Yeah. And that wouldn't, I don't think that would have triggered any level of animosity to the degree that it comes up a year after in this level. And I think for Mr. Vaz, that would have put him in his place to let him know that, listen, this isn't, there's no fair game. I'm a married woman, so you need to back down, or else. Because that is a message I would expect to come across subtly, and as such put an end to this.
The other question, Harry, is why would Mr. Vaz feel comfortable to say this to her? Why? Why would a man feel so comfortable to say that to your wife, sir? What gives Mr. Vaz the confidence that he wouldn't be, why would he feel so empowered, comfortable to say that to her? Why? And men don't cross those lines like that, with married women, sir. I mean, with a single girl, Miss Chang is not a little girl. She's a big woman. She's married. She's a counselor. Why would the man feel that he can do this with her?
Well, you have in this modern day, neighbor, a different level of I want to say male, because I want to make a differentiation between what a man is from a male, right? And from what I've seen is that when you are of a certain character, and when you oversell yourself, right, thinking you can pretty much, your chest up, you're steady around, and that's what you think you're the it man. You actually have some males.
As member of parliament, when he did it, he was not member of parliament. He was a candidate.
So you have males out there, neighbor, who will, as Jamaican say, run off at every fractal. And the truth is, you have some that are overconfident to think that they will be able to shoot their shot. They play the numbers game. And in life, I think they believe
hold your thought, because I am a big man. I am a man. You're a man too. I am older than you. I'd never say that to a woman who is married and living with her husband. I wouldn't do it. I just would not do it. I have this anyway. So what I'm asking is, doesn't it suggest that she made him comfortable by virtue of some previous engagement?
Or neighbor, it could be. Or is it one in which he may also misread what is comfortable, right? Because there are more than one dynamics here, which make it very tricky, But the truth is, there would have had to be some level of engagement that may make him think it is okay, and or her initiating something, right? I don't know if it's maybe the spur of the moment, or just an agreement, or what it may be. But there's more than one dynamic to it, which is very interesting.
The other point, it's still, why are you you're married and you're up 10:30 texting a man?
Neighbor?
Yes.
If you don't mind me interrupting, there are some things that we should also take into consideration, right? Dwayne Vaz is an elected member of parliament who plays a vital role in, making laws in the country, and he should lead by example. Now, we're speaking about a lady who is, not in his position, and it could be a case where she is intimidated, right? Perhaps, women come under a lot of pressure in the workplace by men who are in power, and that should be considered as well. Right? As far as I understood it, he could have led her to feel as if maybe she needed to, I don't know, maybe work with the situation, or, be nice to him or tolerate him rather, to stay in her position or to maybe get a promotion. You just never know. Women do go under those live under those extreme conditions.
Well, true.
Yes, but Carolyn, when he says to her, you should have carry me on your trip, how do you not make him know at that point that no, this is not appropriate? You should have carry me, and she doesn't brush that off. How you mean you should have carry me?
But neighbor, there is no indication that she acted in any way physical, except for the fact that she tolerated his conversations. It is my understanding that Dwayne Vaz is actually the one who took it further by communicating with her husband, and that would suggest that he was being quite malicious.
Well, you speak from this perspective of a woman, and I appreciate it. But let me ask you this, Caroline. If a man says something to you, you are married and you are living with your husband, and a man says something to you that him dream that him want to F the life out of you, would you respond by saying you're drunk? Would you?
Neighbor, I would be quite capable to handle the situation. There's no need to tell him something like that.
And then he says, you should have bring me. And your response is, no, I'm stuck because of snow. Isn't that an opening? Isn't that giving him comfort to
what I'm saying?
Press even more?
Yes, but neighbor, what if she felt as if she needed to play along because, he's in a senior position and, she does not want to compromise on her career as well? What about that level of intimidation?
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
But I just think both you and Harry should take that into consideration and try to see it from the woman's perspective as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I agree. And these are interesting things. But Caroline, do you think that this is a newsworthy matter? Isn't this something between two people that you think could be kept outside of our ears?
Absolutely not, neighbor, because Dwayne Vaz. No,
but he never did it as an MP. He did it as a candidate.
It doesn't matter, neighbor. He is trying to become a part of the possible government, So, the onus is on him to lead by example.
But do you think it is harassment?
Yes, I do see it as harassment. It's sexual harassment, and it's also workplace harassment.
These advances were unwelcome.
Well, go ahead, Charmaine. You wanna say something? Charmaine, you wanna say something?
I cannot. Good night, everyone. I can speak on one side. You see, because we don't know the arrangement. We don't know what lead to what. But as if I was in that lady's shoe, as a married woman, I would put a full stop. At first, when that man started, I will put a full stop. I will let him know my worth, know where I stand, and it has to be some communication that she agree with. This wouldn't have been gone this far. I don't know if you understand me, because if it went so far, you keep on complying with the man. You understand? So I ain't gonna give the man a bad blame. I'm not gonna give the woman a bad blame. What I am saying, the woman should put a full stop at first. Lest this wouldn't get out of hand. Because I know people at their workplace and I know what man can do. We all know what man can do. But we as women,
we know what women can do too, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Because women can play out that role.
Let some things slide or we tolerate some things, it can advance our careers. And, women will do that. So not many women are able to have that kind of confidence to do that.
Well, true. But listen, if as what you people are saying, she want to secure a job, well, I will lose my job. In my shoe, I will lose my job because I've come across that already. But we have to have standard. We have to respect ourselves. And she have right. She have right to put the man in his place, But the only thing I have with this, and I can't see through, this thing prolonged too long. She should get it fixed and done. Because I will go and complain to my husband too. I'll put that situation to my husband. And I will tell the man that I'm going to tell my husband. It wouldn't lead up to texting and dreaming and all of that. No, I will stop him at first. You understand?
Right, but for her to become so brave enough now to go to take her story to, the national media, it is clear that she wants to speak up and she should be listened to and she should be understood and she should be heard.
Yes, but I don't think I will take it to the media because I would have to work it out before I come. I couldn't just jump and do it like that because I think more thing could be done more than bring it to the media, you see. I don't like that. I don't like that because it's very embarrassing.
When someone is being victimized by someone in position, I think they should be given the attention that they require.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And to be honest, for a lady like me in politics long time, I know PNP is good at that. They always try, oh Jesus, I can tell you. They always like to go after a woman like that,
And that's your first term, right?
Yeah, but I ain't gonna throw no stone. But man, if I were in her position, boy, I wouldn't carry I would put a stop right there.
Yeah.
Somewhere they could have to stop.
There's another caller here. Lavi, hi.
Yeah. And
open your microphone.
I'm just curious. Why have you decided
Hello?
that you've had enough?
Lavi?
Hello, neighbor.
Hello, sir.
Hello, neighbor. Are you hearing me?
I am hearing you quite well. Yes?
Thank you for having me on, and I want to say thank you for the great work that you're doing, sir. Really appreciate it.
Wow. I don't know about that, but go ahead.
Well, it's okay. I that's how you should take it. I like your humility. Anyways, I am going to set some context to what I'm saying.
Yes.
As it relates to this lady. I take the woman's position by default, and I'll tell you why. sometimes as men we are unaware of the battles that our women face in this world.
Yes.
We live in what we call a man's world. And a woman is always at a disadvantage in this world. That is a fact.
Really?
I live in North America and I work in the school system.
Yes.
And one thing, let me tell you something about a law that they have right here. It says, I work in high school and it doesn't matter how much a high school girl try to get my interest, try to get my attention, hit at me and stuff like that. I have to be disciplined enough to understand that I am in a position of responsibility and a position of superiority. And if I take advantage of somebody who is inferior in position to me, I am doing something wrong.
Yes.
If a girl in the high school here graduate and I have a relationship with her within 2 years of her graduating, if she was under my care in any way, shape, or form, it's a criminal offense to have a relationship with her within 2 years of her leaving school. You know why, sir? Because I was in a position of responsibility over her and I could easily be accused of nurturing her for that very thing.
Wow. Yes.
Listen, politics is a power game.
Yes.
Men and women who go into politics love power. So when a man I heard the question be asked, why would he do this? Why would he do that? He is in a position of power and politicians are addicted to power and not all politicians are able to responsibly seek power.
Yes.
And when you are in a position where you know somebody is looking up to you, you think that you have one upon them. So you will take certain liberties with them. And they are also looking for power. So they are also trying to balance the thing. And they want to be polite with you, although they don't want to sleep with you. A woman is entitled to be able to be nice with you without wanting to sleep with you. And it is time we say it for what it is. Men must take responsibility for themselves. They must respect the woman who they work with. The woman is a married woman. I would never, I don't care how beautiful she is, I would never ever try to encourage a married woman to go to bed with me.
Yes.
And if I were to say something or do something accidentally that give that impression, I would apologize profusely. So to be texting a married woman, you think that I would never dream about a married woman and text her and tell her I dream about her in that way? Why would I tell her that?
Well,
I would only tell her that because I want to sleep with her.
Well, obviously he did. But it is for her.
Exactly.
It is for her to work.
And listen, she has the right to. She has the right to respond in any way, shape, or form she wants. She has the right to be openly discounting it, or she can use her own strategy that she thinks is good for her. Nobody needs to criticize the way she's handling it, and nobody needs to imply that problem.
What you are raising, though, you know, my brother, is a deeper issue of societal values and culture.
Yeah. Yes.
Because these things do not exist on their own. They are developed through norms.
Yes.
Through how we you for example have raised an example of how the North America system works. It don't work like that in Jamaica.
I know.
I know that
in Jamaica, and this is something we need to
hold on. So then you're not comparing apples with apples here with respect. We need to define for the generation we have and for the one coming how we must conduct ourselves in terms of behavior and what is acceptable and what is not. And that is part of what is wrong with our society. We don't have the values and the morals, and so it's anything goes.
Yes, you are correct. And here the only reason why I will hold Mr. Buchanan, Mr. Vaz, to the standard of which I'm speaking, is because he, at the time, he was an aspiring legislator. He has no damn excuse to be the regular Jamaican. He is quite in a position, and he should be curious enough to know how things are done in other places, because if you're a leader in Jamaica, you should be looking to develop countries to see the things that you need to incorporate in your society.
Yes, yes. And that
So
is,
I
that
don't.
is
So for him, I will not let him off the hook where that is concerned. He's not the average Joe.
yeah. Well, no, sir, but it is not acceptable for the average Joe either, sir, because Joe grind. Joe grind. Plenty problem. So don't let off the average Joe either. The Joe grind your head in Jamaica, you know, sir. No, but the thing is, sir, I agree with you that his behavior is unacceptable, and for him to be texting the woman, that type of thing, knowing fully well of her position, is him exploiting her or
Yes, exactly.
attempting to exploit her.
Yeah.
No, I know that.
Right.
I know, but
Yes.
I have to explore all the angles, you know, sir.
I
But
know that is your role, sir, and I
Yes.
appreciate that. And,
Right.
and the woman, I listened to the interview, and she did say that she's been victimized, and that is why I'm saying that, you know, this probably is a good case that should cause us to start to look at how we put legislation in place to protect women and vulnerable people from
Not
men
only
who
that,
have no control over their.
and there are things we can't see on this program.
True.
Because there are people in positions in Jamaica, even in the parliament, that there are allegations against them, sir, that should have been investigated and the truth known. We need to also look
Yes.
at who it is that we are electing to parliament, sir. We need
Yes,
to
that's true.
We need to do proper due diligence to make sure that we don't have people in our parliament that are of certain character.
Yeah, but we don't have the laws. We have to put those into codes. We don't have the laws, like what I'm just citing now. We don't have the laws, and so that's why I'm saying that we need to codify these things, because we know that this is the right way to do it. We need to codify it. And listen, our legislators are not aliens. They come from our communities.
The same society.
Okay?
And so can you imagine what some women are going through right now in their workplaces with their boss and their
Yes.
supervisor?
Yes.
And some of the things they
Yeah.
have to
Not
be
only
told
that, sir.
to keep their jobs.
It's worse than that.
You think
It's
that's
worse than that. You have doctors who are hitting on patients. Can you imagine?
Well,
Doctors.
I heard from a young lady just the other day that she went to do a procedure. A procedure, sir. And the person she was doing the procedure want her number. You understand me? Not acting
Yes.
professional at all. You see.
Boy.
You know, you're a gynecologist. You're a
Neighbor,
gynecologist, sir.
neighbor.
Yes.
Okay, but I did not hear you play the part where she spoke about staying quiet during the elections, and also the part where, as far as I understood it, she did complain to the PNP and they did nothing either.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that out. You want me to play the tape, moderator?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, Lavi, hold on. You hear Domu?
Yeah, man.
Can't hide this anymore. No.
And how would you respond to those who may say that you're now just trying to get back at him because there's been a falling out? So you're being vindictive.
No, I'm not. I know what I have been through, Cliff. There are many sexual gestures and inappropriate sexual remarks, both physical and verbal.
And you
Physical
have
and
not been able
verbal.
to get anyone in a leadership position in the party to speak to Mr. Vaz about this, or you haven't complained individually to people?
We've had several meetings, Cliff, to no avail.
You say we, meaning who? We have
The
had
party
several.
hierarchy.
Oh, we should tell the listeners that we have heard back from Mr. Vaz, and he says he has no comment. Are you a married woman, Counselor?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Vaz is also a married man?
I'm not sure.
Oh, yes, I believe I saw that he was recently married. So you say your way forward now, Ms. Chang, is to serve the people of SAV, but certainly the relationship as it relates to the relationship with the MP. What do you intend to do about that?
It is very difficult to serve, Cliff. As you know, we have just been through Melissa and the devastation that has been caused in Savlamar, and it would have been good to have an MP to work with.
You can't stop that there. You heard that, Lavi. She said that she was touched, and
Yes.
you know, they were physically and verbally. So
Yes.
obviously,
So that's yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because I heard that in the interview myself. Yeah.
This
So
is
it's bad.
Vaz needs to. And do you think that Vaz should say something? He says no comment. Do you think he should say something?
No comment is not a good response. When you are being accused in a public setting as a public figure, no comment is not a response. It might be a reaction. It's not a response.
Is it part of our culture of not taking responsibility and not holding public officials responsible to hire? Yeah,
I think that listen, here, neighbor, we have a very coarse society. Let us admit that we have a very coarse society. We are emotionally very tough. Okay, our language and all of that is very aggressive, and I'm telling you that it affects everything else. It affects everything else. It affects how we regard women, how we regard children, how we settle our disputes.
yes.
So when that is being said, no, you and listen, her greatest critics will be women.
Oh,
Yes. There are women who will say that she encouraged it. I'm telling you, it is the way. Listen, I've heard it too many times. We have heard many cases in the United States of politicians who are accused of all these kind of things. And the first thing the defenders say, women too, why they wait so long to come out? Why they wait so long to come out? Why they did this? Why they did that? And when they finally come out and tell you why they did it, it's because of the social pressure, the fact that women are not believed. By default, men get the pass, and therefore women are always, for many reasons, and there are other reasons why women don't come forward too, because in a situation where you are seeking power and you want to serve in a particular position, sometimes you are willing to kiss, before you can kick, So
yeah,
I get it.
Oh, yes.
I get it,
No,
and we should.
I could tell you stories here tonight that would shock you, sir. Some things that women say, so just to get by in life.
Yes.
And I know you. I know. Would you want to give me a comment, sir, on the opposition leaders referring to the Prime Minister's wife as Speaker of the House? Did you hear him today?
I didn't hear it, sir, but he has been there before, and therefore, listen. Here is how I see it. A man is a man, and whatever is in a man's heart, it will come out. And this man has consistently shown his attitude and regard. And I'm gonna say it here, Mr. Golden, because he has not had the experience of at least taking public transportation in his life in Jamaica. And his children don't have to do it. And they don't know what it is like to go to bed hungry. And what it's like to have one pair of shoes to go to school. They are detached from the reality of the regular Jamaican. And that is why they go at Mr. Holness the way that they do, because he came. He's coming up from the struggles of the common Jamaican, and they are jealous of it.
That's all.
Because when you have that experience, of growing up with the struggles, you can connect and identify in ways that nobody can. And they are intimidated by what wholeness is going to do with Jamaica and how people's life are going to be improved, and they are not going to be able to take advantage of poor Jamaicans. No.
So you
by
are
the same token.
Go ahead.
By the same token, it's the same thing as it relates to Juliet wholeness.
Yes.
This man doesn't have any respect for women, particularly black women. He is where he is with who he is with because of his youthful exuberance. It's not by choice. And that's my and I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna say it any plainer than that. But I'm telling you, this man is revealing more and more. He knows better. If Juliet Wholeness was on the PNP side, and Andrew Wholeness was on the PNP side, and Mark Golding was on that side, he would be saying exactly what Dr. What's the finance minister name again?
Clark.
Dr. Clark. He would have been saying exactly what Dr. Clark says. Mr. Golding is not an idiot. He's a smart man. Okay? He's not stupid. But this is raw. This is the raw Golding coming out. He does not, he cannot. Listen, when you are born in a world where you are privileged, where every image around you, validate your status, your skin color, your culture, your view on the world cannot be the same as a man who is born into a world where he's disadvantaged and he's looked down on. And this man is struggling with that. He's trying, that's why he's so awkward. Whenever he comes in public, and he come into a Jamaican centric setting, he's a damn fool. He become a buffoon. He's trying to be who he's not. He's awkward. And he doesn't show respect for Jamaica.
You are being a little strong there, sir. You are being a little strong there, sir.
No, but it is no. He's a buffoon when it comes down to Jamaicans. Okay? He doesn't know to bridge the gap. He is not. Yes. Listen, Edward Seaga was not a black man. But Edward Seaga lowered himself and immerse himself into the Jamaican culture. And that is why he's a god for many people. Yes. Golding doesn't think he needs to immerse himself in the Jamaican culture. There's a big barrier between him and being and that Jamaica that we know. But he wants to rule over that Jamaica, not because he wants to better that Jamaica. He just wants to be in a position of power to show that his color, his culture, and everything is being justified and validated by the position. That's why he's willing to split the PNP into smithers to preserve a piece of it so he can use it to ride to power. But I am telling you something. As long as he lives, he will never be sitting in Jamaica House as Prime Minister.
That is who.
And Mr. Golding, because he will not survive to the next election. He can't.
You are saying Mr. Golding will not sit in Jamaica House, sir?
He will not survive to the next election, sir.
Oh my gosh. Don't you
see that the thing that he thought was going to help him is not gonna? He thought that this hurricane was going to be the doomsday for Andrew Wholeness. What he doesn't realize is that challenges make wholeness on fire. Wholeness like challenges. He likes challenges. He rises to it. And I'm telling you that Mr. Golding, I don't want him to, as a matter of fact, I don't want him to leave it going away, no. I want him to stay right where we are.
You want him to stay at the position with this, sir? Hold on. You want him to stay? I would like him to stay as opposition leader, but I know that my wish will never happen because he will not survive to the next general election. He's not going to survive. The PNP is not going to. The only reason why he's still leader, is because of his money and his connections. There's no other reason. There's no love. There's not enough love. There's love for him in the party, but there's not enough love for him in Jamaica to get him to that position. Okay? You look at these children when the Prime Minister go out there, how they connect to him.
Those children are the future. And those children are going to live in a Jamaica that has been built, has been carved and molded by Andrew Holness. And when you see children growing up with Dr. Holness, it's not ordinary and natural. There is more to it than we are seeing here, and those who live long enough will see. But I know that Mr. Golding will not be Prime Minister of Jamaica, and if Golding become Prime Minister of Jamaica, it would be such a retrogressive step country.
It would be
because psychologically, as a people,
retrogressive.
We have emerged.
Oh my! This man said to be a retrogressive.
It would be because listen, we are experienced who has grown into a position. He is cementing himself.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Paula. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
He contributes for better for the country. Okay, let me.
You're breaking up, caller.
Yeah. All right, here we go now. Am I better now?
You are much better, sir. You're saying that it's a retrograde step.
Okay.
If Golding should emerge as leader.
If Golding, it will be a retrograde. So let me explain. We are now experiencing for the very first time in our life a prime minister who was born after independence.
Yes.
This is a man who has a different view of the world than all the other leaders before him. Right? And his emergence as the prime minister that has produced the best result for the country, undoubtedly. His emergence into this position of being the most result-oriented prime minister has given Jamaicans at home and abroad, especially abroad, a kind of pride. When I speak to my friends here and I talk to them about Jamaica and the things that are changing and all of that, I feel proud.
Yes.
Because Andrew is one of us. A lot of us who come on the internet and talk about Andrew, we are in the same age group of him. So what I'm trying to say is, Jamaican for the first time is seeing a prime minister who in their mind is no doubt true and true Jamaican, not only by virtue of who he is, but the struggle that he went through. We have had prime ministers before who are Jamaican. You know, Patisua is Jamaican by everything we could say. Every major man you could say that was a real Jamaican, right? But he is from a different era. Andrew is a different person. And Andrew has arrived at a time when Jamaica is coming into its own. And if we were to go back to Mark Golding, what we would be saying is that we don't think that as a people since 1962 that we are capable of producing a leader who was born from a descendants of slaves in Jamaica to become prime minister. We don't believe that we can have that. We have that now. And if we go and elect a man who cannot resonate with that struggle that we have had, it's a retrograde step, and it would be a psychological death knell that we put it. We can't have that. And I'm sure people will listen and think that
there's those who would argue, sir, that you are introducing
racism. Exactly, they would say that
into the politics,
yes.
and that would
right.
How would you handle that type of criticism?
Okay, well, up to now I haven't used the word race. All I have done is to compare experience and the struggles of the Jamaican people. That's a metric I'm using. I'm using the metric of the people whose ancestors slave on the plantation, who were raped, beaten, tortured, plundered, everything. That's the Jamaica I am talking about. The people who need to feel as if we have suffered enough, we've sacrificed enough.
Yes.
Now we need to have a leader who's going to take us into the future. We want somebody who we can say, yes, This is us without a doubt. This is from the soil of Jamaica in every sense of the word. It's
Okay,
not against
but
the
that is not-
race,
that is not-
as I
that is
said,
not-
because we had.
Yeah, but hold on, but that is not enough. Are you saying to me that if Golden demonstrates competence and presents an effective alternative, he wouldn't stand a chance? Are you saying that?
I am saying that there is a Jamaican mindset that has emerged, that has no shame about being Jamaican, that is proud enough to want to see its own kind leading them. Now, I am not being in any way, shape, or form.
Is Golden not a Jamaican?
He's a Jamaican, but he has not immersed himself in the Jamaica that we need to help. He's a Tapanaris. He said it himself. I'm not coming on here trying to create a situation here. The man says, elect me so me and me Tapanaris then can run the country. When
Well, yes, he
Tapanaris
did say
run
that.
country, we know what. When Tapanaris run country, we know what happened. Them run it for themselves.
Well, yeah,
we
he
no
did
want
say
on
that.
tapa. We no want on tap. We no want on Tapanaris.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Didn't he say that, sir? Didn't
Yes,
he say that?
Uh-huh. He did say
Okay,
that.
okay. So all I am saying is the man has a view. The man has a view that running the country necessitates having Tapanaris.
Uh-huh. That was another good statement.
Look at Andrew. Andrew look around him and he see young, bright talents and he's drafting them into the party.
Yes.
Okay? Because he believes in building from down up. Mr. Golden want to build up down. We don't want him to trickle down. We want him to come up.
Wow.
And that is why.
Yeah. Do you think, sir, that the Jamaican people share your views? Because when you look at the last election, 400,000 people chose the Tapanaris man.
Yes, they did. But you know that elections are very dynamic. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how close you come to winning, you lose. Listen, the best that Golden can do, he has done.
He has done.
Let me say it again. The best that Mark Golden can do, he has done. If he could not win September 3rd, let me tell you something. If he could not win September 3rd, he's dreaming if he think that he can win again.
You mean they can't beat, they cannot outmatch what they did last year. That is the top. That's the top.
No. That's it. That's the highest he can jump.
Wow.
That's it. That's the highest he can jump. You think anybody who think that the only how they can do better is if the Jamaica Labour Party don't do the things that they need to do to keep the people of Jamaica focused on what the dream is, what the goal is, and what the government is doing. And I agree with you and all the people.
Give me half of me. Give me half of me. Well, boy, we're back, and we're back with Lavi. He's taking us on quite a journey here tonight. What a fantastic call this is. JLP Dunn, I'm coming to you, and we have Harry up top at 22 after 10 o'clock. And yep. So Lavi, you are saying that Jamaicans are identified with wholeness. By the way, let me ask you a question. You sound so passionate in your views of wholeness and the work. What is attracting you personally to wholeness and the Jamaica Labour Party? May I ask you that?
Well, to be honest with you, I have my grandparents who raised me were JLP supporters, and so it is kind of, when you grow up in that way, you tend to have easily the default is to support the party that your parents or grandparents.
You don't sound like a tribalist too. You sound like a progressive Jamaica who has chosen Jamaica. Would I be correct?
I am a Jamaican through and through, and I believe in one Jamaica. I don't believe in those who try to separate us and all of that. And listen, it's the first time I'm coming out since in October when the hurricane happened. This is what got me out here, because even during the election, I watch your show. You never heard from me. I come on, I listen, I come off. I have never said anything publicly, politically wise. But let me tell you something. After the election finished and the hurricane came, I started to see some people discrediting the government, talking in ways that I could not understand. How could a government who took you through a pandemic in a flawless way in comparison to the rest of the world? How could a government that has taken you through burial, was never implicated in any corruption whatsoever? Why would you be abroad talking about the resources that the government is not going to be giving to the people? And I was so mad. And I said, I have to come out here and start to talk, because I love my country. And if people are going to be talking lies about my country so that we don't get the support that we should get to rebuild, then I have to do something about it. And so I am out here. So that is what has brought me out here. Otherwise, nobody would have heard from me.
Wow.
And I am out here to highlight what the government is doing. And I am out here to counter any lie I can counter, because I owe it to myself, to my children, and to my country. And if I can do it from a distance, I will do it, because they are also trying to hurt us from a distance. So if they can hurt us from a distance, I can help us from a distance. And that is the passion, nothing else. I have no ambition to be activist. I have no ambition to be in politics. I just want to because I live outside the country, but Jamaica is my home.
Yes.
The government can wake up any day. And say, I have to leave their country, even though I'm a citizen.
That is true.
Anything can happen. Look what is happening. And my children need to have their Jamaican passport. Whether they're born there or not, you are Jamaican anywhere you go. And that is me. I have no other interest in this. No other interest. And I will be hurt if Mr. Golding was elected Prime Minister. I will be hurt. I'm telling you. I would be hurt, because I think psychologically it would be a retrograde step. It would be like we just think that we don't have, as a people, we can't do it. I'm not trying to create division. I'm not trying to say because he's white. Because Siaga was a white man and he was Jamaican more than most Jamaicans who were born in Jamaica. So this is not about white. It's about a man who was born in Jamaica but is detached from Jamaica. That is what the point is. And if you have not felt the pain of living in a one room with 6 other siblings with your parents, and your kitchen there out a door, and your toilet out a door, and your bed out a door. If you never had any experience and walk barefoot, go to school for miles, wet in the rain in the morning, wet in the rain in the evening. If you don't have those experience, you can't lead me. Because you won't understand the man who is struggling down there. So. No, you won't. So the Prime Minister is the right man. The Prime Minister is the right person, because he has had the struggles. He knows what it is. And not only is that just because, and it's not just because Dr. Wholeness has that experience, because there are a lot of Jamaicans who have that experience, and
yes.
they would not be good prime ministers.
What do you buttress that with in terms of? Yes, he's a Jamaican. Yes, he's a Banya. He's one of we. But isn't his performance the thing that we should be looking at?
But your performance will be determined by the way you see the world. You can't do anything other than the way you see the world. That's the only thing you have. Whatever your worldview is will be expressed through your policies. Look at Donald Trump, for example.
Yes.
The presidency has revealed who the man is.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yes.
Power reveal who you are. What I see in Mr. Golden, the way he talk about the Prime Minister's wife, that alone tells me that he's classless.
Oh my gosh. Oh
He's
my gosh.
He's classless. No, when you have that kind of responsibility and you're talking to a woman who in her own right, Mrs.
Yes.
Holiness doesn't have to be yoked up with Dr. Holiness to stand on her own. She's a
I agree with that.
successful, strong, bright woman. She doesn't need to be connected to anybody. She should be judged on
I
her own
agree with
merit.
that. Yes, sir. I
Her
agree with that.
marital status, and her
never-
family life
never be mentioned.
should not go in the parliament.
I
So
agree
when
with that.
a leader of opposition,
Yes.
opposition is bringing that level of classlessness and sexism to our
Yes.
parliament,
Well, I agree
then
with you, sir.
then no, I can't. No, that man shouldn't lead me. No, sir.
Well,
No,
yeah,
sir.
I agree with that.
No.
That's a
No,
fundamental
no.
mistake. Should have never done that.
No.
Yeah.
Those are the mindsets. Those are the mindsets back in the past that used to ill-treat and our ancestors. Okay?
You say he's
The inability,
It's classless, sir.
the inability of Europeans to feel what a black man feel or a black woman feel allowed them to do what they did. Mr. Golden, in the public, is being classless and sexist in the parliament.
Wow. Sexist.
And I'm actually, of course he is. Of course he's been sexist. Of course he is. If the Prime Minister brother was in parliament as a speaker, Mr. Golden would not say what he said.
Well, I wonder.
You hear me? Wouldn't. He wouldn't say how the Prime Minister brother is the speaker, because first of all, it's a man, so he would know, he wouldn't tread there. Secondly, it has happened before. We have had two brothers in the house of in the parliament, one being speaker and one being MP. The Pierce brothers. Yes.
And
if it was a man, right. If Andrew Holness brother was in parliament and the speaker of yours, Golden wouldn't say it. So when I say he's classless and sexist, I know what I'm saying. The man is classless.
Yeah, I think that is unfortunate. I must tell you the truth, sir. Why is he doing it though?
And that is why most women in Jamaica vote for the Prime Minister. Women are, you said something. You see, listen, always look at the women vote. There's something about a woman's perception of the quality of a man or a leader that is a good guiding post sometimes. Sometimes as men, we miss certain things. Women are very acute about certain things. Women and children. Sometimes we should put aside our intellectual gymnastics and look at the world naturally. When a child who is always sociable and with everybody else, and then suddenly they come across an adult who they are scared of like hell. There's a reason.
Wow.
There's a reason why children run. There's a reason why children run to Obama and not to Trump. There's a reason. They feel the energy. They know. They still have the innocence, so they are not prejudiced by other things. They go strictly by the real natural energy that draws them or repel them. And you can tell a good leader when children and women react to them a particular way.
Wow. And you are saying that children don't react to Golden like that?
You see, you don't see it. I don't see it. You see it? you don't you see how clumsy the man is socially?
No, I don't look at it. I don't really follow
Dr. Holness, I've never seen Dr. Holness in any situation and he looks uncomfortable. Never. If he's with a little child or he's take off his shoes to walk across a river with everybody else, he fits right in. Nobody has to say, oh my God, look at that. No, it seems natural. But the minute Mr. Golden tries to do something, everybody like, you can see the awkwardness.
He's awkward.
You see the awkwardness. He's awkward. He's awkward. Yes, he's awkward. He's not. Listen, man. He's not that. He's not the leader for the country at this time. But he is supposed to be the opposition leader. He's the perfect opposition leader. Let him stay where he is. Let him stay where he is. We won't bother him. And the PNP should leave him where he is. Let the man stay. The man not cause no problem.
Yeah.
Let the man turn. The man have the money and in Tapanaris, them we help him stay where in there. Because we are going to call them out, and the Tapanaris along with their media house and all that. We will call them out when they do the things that they're not supposed to do, and we'll make sure that the people hear it. I'll do my little part. You do your little part. Everybody do their little part. You understand? And who can walk, run, and who can run, walk. But we all have to put together. This is not a government job. It is beyond the government.
Yeah.
This social media thing here. This social media thing has made things different. This is not a government problem alone.
Yes.
All of us have to
sir.
pitch in to protect Jamaica legacy. Because
That
if
is
this
exactly
man
where I'm
ever,
going. That's where I'm
yeah
going with
man,
you,
if
sir.
this man ever
How
take,
do you
if
think
this man,
the nation should preserve the gains that they have made over the last decade or so? How is the legacy to be preserved? What are the guardrails that you think the society needs to establish?
just as how we have put up guardrails for our economic structure,
Yes.
we should put up guardrails against future reckless governments who will seek to do certain things. This is
Yes.
the prime time to do that. This is the prime time. We need to have a system. Listen, the JLP has a responsibility to wall out the JLP, to wall out the PNP, wall them out, box them out.
What do you mean wall them up?
Yes. You build a wall of results and success around them that is so darn high that nobody can see them anymore. And they become so small in the history that sometimes people are gonna have to ask, who are those people again? And the way you do that.
But were you listening to Mr. Dobney, sir?
I heard parts of what he said, but I'm not sure about
but
but I picked this up. Yes, but this is what the JLP has been doing. They are doing it, you know. You look this is the first election we had where nobody talk about crime. The opposition didn't talk about crime. They didn't talk about debt. They didn't talk about all those things because the government walled them out. That's what I mean. Wall them out. And the way you do it is not by negative things. You do it by doing things that will make the people look and say, oh my God. And while you're doing that, you must have a running video in the background of the 1990s. People must never forget how we tremble when budget was gonna be read. And now we see a budget coming up, people excited, lad. Woo, wanna see what the government is gonna do. Listen, people are excited now to hear budget. I remember in the 1990s.
Break that down for me, because I think you are saying what a lot of people have been saying. You're saying wall out the opposition by your performance, but at the same time, keep the people's mind in the rear view mirror
90s
as to where they were coming from.
Yes.
So it's a dual process.
It's a dual process, man. A two-track, two-track run at the same time. But one must be in the background that people never forget it.
Yeah, I want my dinner.
Never.
Wow.
We must memorialize the 90s because we can't afford to go back. If you forget where you're coming from, you will go back. Just as how, listen, every year, especially in North America, you see people wearing poppy. They remember in World War I and II, right? Because they say we should never forget, right? Well, the same thing in Jamaica. We should have that era to say we will never go back. Never go back to the 1990s. Because those were bad times. But while we say we're not going back, we are showing you why you can't go back. Because now you have it better. You have more education, you have more jobs, you feel more secure, you're safe, you can aspire to great heights. And the Prime Minister talked about making Jamaica economically independent so that Jamaicans don't have to travel abroad. Let us all believe in that dream. Because if we don't believe in the dream that we can have a Jamaica, that no Jamaica want to leave, or no Jamaica have to leave if he doesn't want to leave, then we would have done our job. Listen, there are very few little small countries in the world that has the kind of respect and command the kind of respect and admiration like Jamaica. And as a result of that, we have to be not just be an example of good music and good talent in athletics and those things. We have to show that we can also build a society that can be the envy of other places.
The man said wall out the PNP. So you are saying that the PNP should never return? Is that what you're sort of saying?
No, they can return, because it would be silly to say they should never return. Because what will happen as a result when you wall them out? You see, if you wall people out and nobody can hardly see them, then they're gonna have to transform themselves into something that people can look at.
Well,
so yes, while we are building the country, they can go and rebuild themselves. But until we have accomplished the vision laid out by our Prime Minister, where he wants Jamaica to go.
But let me ask you, were you the one that pushed that document under my door? Because I have a document that was pushed under my door that suggests this very process. This outline. Did you push it under my door? Did you send it?
I don't have those kind of connections, sir. But I'll tell you this: great minds think alike. When you have something,
no, but good, I have a document here that suggests the same thing. Yes, as a matter of fact, the document that I have suggests that Jamaica should stay on this path for 30 years. It never used the word wall out, but it said that until we have established strong economic foundations, yes, and legislation and institutional capacity, the PNP must stay in opposition. I got that document last week. You didn't send it, sir?
I didn't send it, sir, but I believe that we don't need an interruption. And when you have something good that is going, you see, one of the things that we are now doing that most countries that were colonized and now occupied by people of African descent. One of the things that is common is that we never learned the art of maintenance. All the things that were left by the colonial master, even those that were good, we didn't learn maintenance, and that's why we have lost a lot of things at the colonial master. And it's not just unique to Jamaica. It is, if you look across the Caribbean and look across Africa, you will see it. How many of those countries still have train lines running?
Yeah, very few.
So now we are in a different age, and we have a leader who is inculcating all those things that are necessary, not just to have things, but to have the capacity and the skill to maintain those things. And that's where we are now. Until you can maintain what you implement and support what you have put in place, you're wasting your time. So we can't afford to start and go. No, we are on the runway now. Nothing should disrupt this flight, brother. Nothing should disrupt this flight. The runway is clear. Nothing should upset this flight. And the JLP must wall out the PNP. Okay? Save them from themselves. Because if they get power, they'll destroy themselves and destroy Jamaica. And we can't afford to go back to the 90s. I'm sorry. I'm traumatized, brother. I'm sorry. I'm traumatized because I lived through that time.
You are traumatized, my caller. Lavi, you're traumatized?
Yeah, man.
What do you mean traumatized?
Yes, man. When you live in a country where every time the government stand up to tell you at the end of the year or the beginning of the year that you know what, when you get to a point when you start to tax all hand cat, Come on, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Eh? These are the people who are talking about they are for the poor. But they were able to put levy and hand cards. Eh? And you love the poor? Me see why you love the poor. No, sir. No, we can't afford to go back in the 90s, neighbor. Can't.
Boy, it was great having you tonight, sir. Gonna have to leave it there.
My pleasure, man. Anytime. And you continue to blaze the fire. You are doing a great job. You're a powerful influence right now. And people like you, we need to clone
sir?
people like you. Yeah, man. We need to clone people like you.
Me, sir? No, sir.
Yeah,
Not
man.
me.
Yeah, man. It's okay. It's okay. You're a humble man.
I'm an ordinary man, sir. I am an ordinary little man trying to help myself. Not a thing, no, sir.
Well, one ordinary man we meet another.
Yes. By the way, we'll be in touch. You hear, sir?
Okay, neighbor. You take care of yourself. Good night.
Love your contribution. Very good, man. Congrats.
Take care. All the best.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Listeners, my back, man. My God, I need a chair. Oh my God. Moderator, please get in touch with this caller for me, Lavi. Get in touch with him and make sure that we have his contact. I want him back on the show. And I don't know, but I got a document that is speaking to these very things. By the way, Harry,
Well,
Lavi has not expressed anything. He only expresses in his own style that we have not been speaking about here. This whole matter of preserving the legacy. Isn't that what you have been talking about? He says wall out the PNP. It is not only so much about walling them out. It's about ensuring that that there is continuity. Isn't that what he's trying to say?
Definitely, neighbor. And in fact, in terms of in his own words, he's really saying also to raise the standard to such a level where we don't recall that great impact of the 90s. So because we would have learned and we've now also advanced ourselves in such a level where those things are so far in the peripheries, our worst in this current term is so significantly better that anybody who is coming after this administration or in government has to meet that standard and higher.
Yeah, and then he spoke about keeping the 90s in view so that people do not take the present for granted. A fantastic idea. We've been saying that.
Of course, neighbor, because remember, we have to understand in depth and in detail while we're moving forward why we had to be doing what we're doing now and why we're in the situation that we're in, and to not forget it, because if we forget it, we may be doomed to replay that sometime in the future. So we have to ensure that it is engraved in us while we're going forward to never ever go back and make those mistakes.
The trauma that he speaks about, Harry, psychologically, do you sense that in the society that somehow people have a fear of that just somehow we are not at the point where our gains cannot be reversed and many people are traumatized? Do you sense that in the society?
Neighbor, for those who would have gone through the 90s at a different demography, right, and a different age range, no, they get it, because the 90s was a part of their lived reality. It was a part of the traumatic experience that has molded them to what they are now, that has also set them back in life to where they are, and also have prevented the very advancement and how much better overall as a society our livelihood would have been.
Yes.
And the thing about it in terms of that document that you have, neighbor, I think it's one that was preempted by an announcement. I believe it was the IMF earlier, or it was the World Bank who states that by 2035 we should get back to the debt to GDP of 60% there, which, looking at that document and the time frame in which it spans across, may just have been keeping this in mind.
Well, yeah, well, sir, a birdie dropped it. A birdie dropped a copy over my fence, and another one someone pushed the document under my door, sir, and I've been reading through it, and it is saying exactly this. And part of what they are suggesting is that the Labour Party, Mr. Dobney came here and said the very same thing, that he said, insulate ourselves against a reckless PNP. Jamaicans are waking up, Harry.
They are, neighbor, and it was bound to happen. I think it was due, play on words, time come for us to be awoken at the magnitude that is required, because I think for far too long we have kept ourselves back. We have not demanded or even got the experience that we're getting now to this level of forward thinking, of this level of management and advancement as a country, not just from an administration standpoint or so on, because what we've seen now is an inclusivity of every facets and demographics and areas and sectors of society coming together, taking that level of forward step, right, to working together to get us forward. I've definitely never seen it, neighbor, in my 3 decades and counting, that we've done it at this level. You would have heard me speak on the whole aspect of the crime, where that initial public offering was done with the private sector and public sector, right, to raise approximately 200 million towards the development of Jamaica and fighting against crime, which is one component of the multifaceted approach that was taken. I've definitely never heard of that, neighbor, but we've seen right across the board that inclusivity and everybody almost in unison, tightening their belts, taking the step forward and making the sacrifice to go forward.
11 minutes to 11 o'clock, and we jump out at 11 o'clock. John Major, good evening to you, sir.
Hi, neighbor.
I understand that you receive an award for the best blogger. How comes? Congratulations, man.
Thank you, neighbor.
Yes. Fantastic. How much money did you get? If you want to share that with us.
No, neighbor. I am not in this for the gift or for monetary gain. I'm just in this for love of country, really.
But how I didn't hear about this man? I thought that I was a blogger myself. Would you narrate me?
Neighbor. How should I put it? As a part of the planning committee. No.
It's all right. Hold on, Mr. John. You're a major man from Portland. Oh my goodness, come through. Oh boy, I tell you.
Oh gosh, I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting. Oh gosh, I can't believe me high. Boy, I tell you something. This is all very exciting. Oh gosh.
Stop. Yeah, John, hello.
All right, neighbor. I was going to say one thing here.
Yes.
And I think what I'm going to say will clear up a lot of things.
Don't get me into trouble because I can't take any more of it.
No, it's not going to cause any problem, neighbor.
Yes.
Your name did came up.
Okay.
For quite a few categories.
That's all right. That's all right.
But
Yeah.
the decision was taken because we were trying to respect your view by you saying that you are not a JLP blogger. So
but can you tell me one blogger in Jamaica that has been so appointed by the Jamaica Labour Party?
None whatsoever.
Then my position is consistent with what is the reality.
Right, neighbor. So so anyhow, neighbor. I think that is water under the bridge.
Well, yeah, it is.
Yes,
it is. Love and respect to everybody, man. Love and respect.
Yes, neighbor. I think it was a good initiative. But what I really want to talk about, neighbor, really tonight is that as a person who lived through the 90s, neighbor.
Yes.
And now living the reality what is taking place here in Jamaica.
Yes.
It's not, neighbor, it's a new paradigm in our history as a country and as a people. Neighbor, I wanted to show you one simple example. There's a adjacent community to where I am living, right? And this community is in St. Mary, Southeast St. Mary. It's close to the border of St. Mary and Portland, right on the border. This community, neighbor, usually have a lot of young, middle-aged women sit on the roadside every single day. And all they do is play card pack, play bingo, and the whole works. To my surprise, neighbor, I went out. And what I'm seeing now, quite a few of those young ladies that usually sit at that very same spot for years are now security guards.
What are you saying to me?
Are now security guards, neighbor. When you walk the street and you go to establishment, business establishment, you are so surprised to see the amount of young ladies now proudly wearing their security guard uniform.
Yeah,
they are at the bank, they are at the pharmacy, they are at the hospital, they are all over. And neighbor, I can tell you this, these are young ladies who leave out of high school, have 1, 2, 3 children, and was hopeless. Hopeless. And neighbor, I can tell you, it's a new phenomenon to see these young ladies now finally become a part of the labor force. These mothers no longer depend on part because they are gainfully employed.
Yes, sir.
And neighbor, I really want to say this, neighbor. I don't believe, and I'm not eating the institution, but I really don't think the PIOJ is really capturing the true essence of what is taking place in this country economy, neighbor.
Well, that would be starting.
Yes, neighbor, starting.
Yeah, that's the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, but that is a government institution, sir. There have been many questions for years, sir, in terms of how they measure unemployment, how they measure economic growth, and all of that. You have raised a point there, but these are the same matrices that they have used for all these years.
Yes, neighbor. But I'm saying, neighbor, when you go underground, when you go physically underground, neighbor, it's surprising to see the amount of young people now that are employed. Neighbor, one time, for a young lady, the only way out was to get a bar work. Neighbor, not try invest in one bar now because you have to go employ a robot.
No,
young lady don't want a bar work anymore.
I absolutely agree with that. As a matter of fact, I know of cases where that them girls don't want especially they want no bar work anymore. So, but John, I'm out of time, and
Yes,
I want to.
I know. You have a full night. I know.
Yeah, man, I'm out of time, and you talk to you tomorrow.
It's always a pleasure conversing with you, neighbor. Thank you very
Not
much.
a problem. Great. Nice talking to you. All right, Harry. Well, we had a full night. We had a full show. Not feeling too well right now. You know, I mean, I'm having some abdominal pain, but I sat through it, and you wouldn't have known, no? That
Definitely, neighbor.
I'm not feeling so well. I indicated to my moderator that I wanted to close early, and she pushed me for another 2 hours. Listeners, pray for me, okay? Pray for me.
Moderator never make sure you get lunch, neighbor.
Today? No, she did not at all. She said I should eat patty. I should go eat 2 patty. Said I should go eat 2 patties, and I refused. I refused the patties, and I got nothing to eat. So yeah. So I'm having a little bit of abdominal pain, and I'm feeling pretty weak. But I did it for my listeners. Listeners, take care of yourselves. No, not gas. Busy tea. We will link up tomorrow, Harry, and do this all over again at 7:00. Thank you.
Definitely, neighbor. Definitely.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So good night, neighbor, right? And remember, neighbor is not a blogger.
Not at all. Yeah.